Little did you know that with a bowl of potato chips, you could actually have a pretty wholesome dinner, and it's one of the fastest around, thanks to this very famous genius recipe. Whenever we've tried changing this very traditional recipe at Food 52, we've gotten in a bit of trouble because people like their tortilla the way that they like it, which is traditionally slowly cooked onions in a lot of olive oil, slowly cooked potatoes added into that, and then the eggs go in. And it's just this amazing amalgam of those flavors. And I think the reason that this sort of hacked version has caught on and become so beloved around the world is because it comes from this chef, Ferran Adrià, who ran El Bulli for 28 years, and his sole purpose was to innovate. So one thing that helps, because it is such a quick version of this, to get a lot of flavor in is to start with some very flavorful ingredients. So here we have some serrano ham or prosciutto, some pickled peppers, piquillo or pimentos or whatever you can find, and some fresh thyme. So as a child, I taught myself to crack eggs with one hand after seeing Tony Danza do it on Who's the Boss in the intro. Although I've never been able to find evidence of this because they change the intro every season. If any of you remember Tony doing this in the beginning of Who's the Boss, please tell me. If you have it on a VHS tape somewhere, send it to me. Because I thought it was so cool that he could crack the egg like this and open it with one hand, and he just looked so cavalier while he was doing it. I mean, the egg kind of gets destroyed, but there's no shell in there. So now all the other stuff goes in. This thyme that we plucked, and the pickled peppers, and the serrano ham or prosciutto. And a little bit of salt. Not too much because there's a lot of salt going on in the other stuff. So this is the place that Ferran Adrià really innovated. Instead of those slow cooked potatoes and onions, he just uses potato chips. Some versions of this recipe online have you use those thicker kettle-style chips. Others have you use kind of the thin, like cheap grocery store kind. I actually like the thinner, flimsier kind. They really soften in the eggs and kind of almost like reconstitute back into potatoes and make for a really, really nice texture. I'm just evening this out so that it cooks evenly, because it's just gonna get a big blast of heat from the bottom and then a big blast of heat from the top, and you're not gonna be moving it around too much. You just want it to be like golden brown underneath. You can peek like this. So traditionally this would be flipped out of the pan and back in, but we're just gonna broil the top. So that just broiled for about 3 minutes, but you really just wanna watch to see it set on top. You don't want it to be totally firm all the way through because it's gonna keep cooking, but it shouldn't be sloshy. Oh yeah, that looks pretty perfect to me. Okay, so you can see all the layers of potato chips, the potatoes that you did not have to do very much work for, and all the little colorful, flavorful doodads. In a pinch, just the eggs and the chips and a little bit of salt makes a very comforting tortilla as well. You don't really need to do the other stuff. So Faki, who's behind this camera right here, recommends having this with mayo or ketchup, or mayo and ketchup mixed together. Kenji at Serious Eats also serves his with like a garlicky mayo. He just put some garlic and olive oil in his mayo, but it's also gonna be pretty good just like this. This kind of chip is really where it's at. It just like melts into the eggs. You kind of don't even know you're using chips because they've just become potatoes again. For more genius recipes like this, the super iconic famous ones and the ones that nobody's heard of yet, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel and check back next week. See you soon.